She was just jogging home after her evening workout, headphones in, mind clear, heart strong. But within minutes, flashing blue lights turned her peaceful run into a nightmare. The officers claimed she resisted arrest, but the bruises on her body told a different story. While the world judged her through headlines and rumors, something unexpected was watching from above. A silent drone capturing the truth she couldn't speak. What it revealed would not only expose the lies, but shake an entire police department to its core. It was supposed to be just another evening. Maya Johnson, a 29-year-old fitness trainer and single mother, jogged the same route she always did. Down Lincoln Avenue, past the old grocery store, and through the quiet park that led to her apartment complex. She ran every night after her shift at the gym, headphones in, music low, her thoughts drifting between tomorrow's clients and her daughter waiting at home with her mother. Life wasn't easy, but Maya had built something stable. A small circle of loyal clients, a reputation for discipline, and a dream of opening her own training studio one day. She believed that consistency and hard work could outrun any stereotype. But lately, she'd noticed things. The patrol car parked near the park entrance more often than before. The stairs that lingered too long when she jogged past certain corners. It was subtle. Enough to make her uneasy, but not enough to make her stop. She told herself it was nothing. Just her imagination. That night, though, the air felt heavier. The sky hung low with gray clouds, the streetlights flickering as if warning her to turn back. As she crossed the intersection near the convenience store, she noticed the reflection of headlights slowing behind her. A police cruiser. She kept jogging, heart steady, until she heard the sharp blare of a siren cut through the quiet evening. Tires screeched. Doors opened. Voices shouted. In that instant, Maya's ordinary night shattered into chaos, and within minutes, she would become another headline, another suspect in a story that was never hers to write. The moment Maya turned toward the flashing lights, she felt it. That shift in the air when something peaceful turns dangerous. Two officers stepped out of the cruiser, their flashlights cutting through the dim street like interrogations made of light. "Stop where you are!" one of them barked. She froze instantly, her breath visible in the cool evening air. Sweat rolled down her temple. Her music still played faintly from one earbud, a song about freedom, now drowned beneath the hum of authority. She raised her hands slowly. "Is there a problem, officer?" But her words vanished under the weight of their suspicion. They looked at her like she'd done something, like her very existence needed an explanation. The taller officer circled her, his tone sharp, his questions colder. Where was she going? Why was she running? Whose phone was that? Every answer she gave only seemed to make him angrier. The second officer kept one hand on his holster, his other hand gripping his flashlight too tightly, the beam trembling slightly. Not from fear, but from a kind of hunger to prove control. Maya could feel it, that silent calculation in their eyes. They weren't searching for truth. They were searching for justification. When she reached into her armband for her ID, everything erupted. "Don't move!" one of them shouted, rushing forward. The flashlight struck her shoulder, hard, sending her stumbling against the curb. Her phone flew from her hand, screen shattering as it hit the pavement. She cried out, instinctively trying to cover her head, but that only made them angrier. The taller one pushed her down with his knee, pressing her cheek against the rough concrete. The smell of oil and dust filled her lungs as she struggled to breathe. "You think you can resist?" he yelled, though she hadn't moved. Her voice came out broken between gasps. "I didn't do anything." But it didn't matter. Her words weren't meant to be heard. The scene unfolded in the cold glow of streetlights, each second stretching longer than the last. A few distant witnesses stood frozen on the sidewalk, watching but not daring to intervene. One man held his phone up to record, but the officers barked at him to back off. He lowered it. Fear triumphed over courage. And then, silence. Except for Maya's muffled sobs. From somewhere above, unseen and unheard, a small mechanical hum cut through the air. A drone, operated by a college student testing a photography project, hovered quietly, recording everything, every word, every blow, every act of humiliation. The officers didn't notice it as they dragged Maya toward the patrol car, her face streaked with tears and dirt. They didn't see the lens reflecting their own actions back at them, documenting the moment truth and power collided. Maya's body trembled as she tried to explain again that she lived just 3 blocks away, that she worked at the gym, that she wasn't resisting. But her voice was nothing compared to their authority. They cuffed her, roughly, their grip cutting into her wrists. One officer smirked at the small crowd forming nearby. See? Another suspect off the streets. But above them, the drone continued to circle, watching, waiting, recording the truth that would soon turn their confidence into fear. As the patrol car door slammed shut, Maya looked through the window, her reflection fractured by the blue and red lights. Somewhere inside, she whispered to herself. Not a prayer, not a plea, but a promise. They won't get away with this. And far above the city, the silent witness, that small machine in the sky, made sure she was right. The patrol car jolted forward, its sirens cutting through the night like screams echoing down empty streets. Inside, Maya sat handcuffed, her wrists throbbing from the cold metal biting into her skin. Every heartbeat felt like an explosion in her chest. She could see her reflection in the glass. Swollen lip, dirt-streaked face, eyes full of disbelief. At the station, the fluorescent lights buzzed overhead, harsh and unforgiving. The officers processed her like a criminal. Fingerprints, photos, laughter echoing from across the room. When she asked to call her mother, one of them smirked. You can call whoever you want, sweetheart. Won't change what's on that report. But what was on that report was a lie. A carefully written fiction painting Maya as violent, resistant, dangerous. And it would have stayed that way if not for one small miracle still hovering in the digital sky. 2 days later, a student named Tyler Jenkins was reviewing drone footage for his college media project. He'd been filming a skyline shot near Lincoln Avenue when he noticed flashing lights in the background. Curiosity made him zoom in. What he saw made his stomach twist. The brutal arrest, the shoving, the laughter, the fear in Maya's eyes. It was all there, uncut, unedited. His hands shook as he watched. He knew what he was seeing, and what it meant. By dawn, the footage had been uploaded anonymously to social media. Within hours, it spread like wildfire. Reporters camped outside the police station. The department scrambled for explanations, but the truth was undeniable. The same truth the officers had tried to bury under paperwork. And lies was now playing on millions of screens. And for the first time since that night, Maya's voice was finally louder than theirs. Her story, once silenced on a dark street, was now echoing across the nation. But justice was still waiting. Would the system protect its own again? Or would this time, for once, the truth finally win? Days after the video went viral, the world finally started saying her name. Maya Johnson. What the officers thought would disappear into another forgotten police report became national headlines, sparking protests outside the Atlanta precinct and forcing the department to respond. The footage was clear. The truth was undeniable. The 2 officers were suspended, then charged. But for Maya, Justice wasn't measured in court dates. It was in the moments after, when she finally stood before cameras, her shoulders still bruised, her voice steady. "I wasn't resisting," she said softly. "I was just running home." Her words rippled through a nation tired of hearing the same story play out again and again. She became a voice not just for herself, but for countless others who never got the chance to speak. Community leaders, athletes, and ordinary citizens shared her story, proof that technology, courage, and truth could expose what power tried to hide. Months later, Maya returned to the same street where it all happened. The cracked pavement still bore faint stains from that night, but this time she wasn't alone. Dozens of neighbors stood beside her, holding candles, holding signs, holding hope. She looked up at the sky where that drone once hovered, the same silent witness that turned her pain into purpose. For the first time, she smiled, because this time, the world did believe her. But as she looked into the cameras once more, her message was simple and sharp. For every Maya whose story was seen, there are hundreds who weren't. Don't wait for a camera to prove someone's humanity. Be the witness. Be the voice. Be the change. The screen fades to black. The heartbeat of her words lingers in the silence that follows. How many more stories like Maya's will it take before justice stops needing proof? Don't miss more powerful real-life stories. Hit subscribe now.